Welcome to Try It Out Tuesday. My name's Bev. I'm from Bee Crafty, and if you haven't joined us before, we are here live on YouTube every Tuesday to make something with our fantastic Bee Crafty products. Okay, now you can craft along, you can save this video, or if you're catching up later, feel free to fast forward until I start making something. That's absolutely fine, and I totally understand. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hang on for a few more people to join in the live before we get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to log on to YouTube so I can see any comments that do come in. Marvellous. So we are going to be making some artist trading cards this evening, but like I say, we're going to hang on for a few more people to join in and then we will get started. Hello Alison, hello Maxine, hello Sam. The usual suspects, which is a good thing. How are we all? A little bit cooler this week, isn't it? Last week was exceedingly warm, and I'm hoping that's what overheated my iPad, and it won't do it again. And the sound will remain. Maybe I should invest in like a proper microphone. I don't really know. I don't really know. But it's definitely cooler. Cooler. So I'm going to be using the Wing Whispers Catalyst Collage this evening. Hello, Hazel. Okie dokie. Hokey cokey. Right. So this evening I'm going to be making some artist trading cards using the Wing Whispers, but not actually the Wing Whispers because I'm going to be using the cover sheet. Now, what actually prompted... Oh, you made ATCs today, Alison. That's quite exciting. We obviously just see me and you, Alison. We're just there again. You'll find out what else we were together on in a couple of weeks. Okay, so yesterday, day before, at some point in the last couple of days, I can't even remember now. They all sort of go into one, don't they? Especially in the summer holidays. I made this little page here in my mini notebook journal thing. Okay, so I made this last week on Try It Out Tuesday, and this page I was just like, oh, what can I do? Anyway, so I was looking at these sort of sample panels. So on the cover sheets, I'm going to grab a smaller one because it's there. So on the cover sheets for your Catalyst Collage, you get samples of all the papers so you can see them. Yeah? Okay, so it's just sort of like a little cheeky bonus, isn't it? Now, on the A4 ones... These are from the A4 Wing Whispers. So I had a little play with one to put it into my mini book journal, which I absolutely love. And I used the little mini dandy daisy, and I think it's made a really beautiful page. I have not put it on our Instagram yet because I wanted to show it to you guys first. So this will probably go onto our Instagram tomorrow. Okay, or later. I haven't decided. Okay, so I made this little page. Anyway, so when I was using it, I was like... That's really good. That's like, I bet you that's nearly ATC size. I bet you that's about ATC size. It's got to be close. It's got to be close. This is from the A4 pack. I haven't turned my sounds off. Okie dokie. So I had me an apostrophe. And I thought, let's do some ATCs. Now today... The apostrophe came after today, I won't lie. So today, you may have seen on our Instagram or our Facebook page that I'd spent a couple of hours on my laptop this morning, and I just needed just a bit of decompression, 10 minutes, you know, just a little bit of no concentrating and whatever. So I just grabbed my white pen, just my white Posca, and I just started to, where I had, for example, done this the other day to make this little art journal page, I sort of just worked round the other unused pieces on my cover sheet for my Wing Whispers, and I was like, yes, they're ATC size. Now, so what I have done is I have cut. I'm Venice. I can just leave that there, can't I? So you can see. I don't know if you can see that there actually. Yeah, probably. Okay, so what I've done is I have cut some blue card. Now, to be fair, what I did was I just reached into my blue card folder and reached out the first one. So this is some pearl sort of navy / royal blue. Very exciting. I went for the blues because that's what we have in here. Okay, and they're not quite ATC size, but they're absolutely close, and I'm perfectly happy to snip them down. Okay, and just have a bit of a blue border. But I think how great are they going to be for making quick, fun, easy ATCs? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so as I said to you last week as well, I have started cutting out lots of my stamped ephemera. I've got to make a lot more. If that's something you're interested in, see on Try It Out Tuesday, just stamp it in colour and let me know. We can do that. We can do that next week maybe. In fact, we'll circle back to next week. Anyway, so I've cut out these three, which were sort of along the colours we were thinking, okay? So I've got a blue sketchy flowers tulip here. I've got this flower from one of the Journaling Essentials, and then I've got this flower from the Gerbera. Now, in fairness, this is coming up a lot more orange on screen, but I do think I'm going to sort of re-orange it up a little bit more to maybe go on to the butterflies or something, just to bring in a bit more of that orange. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick which three. Now, I'm definitely picking the crow because I absolutely love this image. I love the composition of it. I just love how it's brought together. Now, I've decided I'm going to use these butterflies because I think that flower down there is going to be beautiful, especially when I add a bit more orange. And then I think that on there, we'll try and find a way of using that on there. So yes, we'll save these butterflies for another day or another mini art journal page. Who knows? We'll save them. But this is one of these, the new Catalyst Collage, obviously I absolutely love. They're beautiful. But it's always so exciting when you just look at something like the cover sheet and realise you've almost got a whole bonus paper there that I hadn't even thought of when I was creating the pack. You know, because let's face it, I'm not going to pretend I did think of it, because I didn't. We all know I didn't. Which makes it even more fun. I'm really not sure about that on there. Anyway, we're going to keep those. We're going to keep those out. So the first thing I'm going to do, the blue card is, look, I know it's quite, I like it. It's spangly. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, because like I say, these aren't going to fit perfectly. That's okay. It's going to give it a nice little mixed media vibe. Mixed media vibing. Okay, and we're going to, I really should work on a piece of scrap. I've just spent a significant amount of time trying to clear the glue off this board with only, you know, mixed success. So I'm going to do that to try and get an even border each side. Obviously, it's not the most important thing in the world, but it will just make me feel better. Would love an actual ATC set of Catalyst collages. Oh, see, now that feels like I'm going to have to do actual measuring, Lynn. But I will see what I can do. Something I have been thinking about is tag etc. sets using the Catalyst collage. It is something I have actually played with. I've got mock-ups of. So if that is something you would like to see, that's something I can do. I'm sure I can. I'm sure I have, because I'm sure I've actually played with it before. I think I actually have it. I think I showed Sam with the first Catalyst cards. Something else I haven't got to yet either is obviously making the first few sets of Catalyst cards available in A4. It's on the list. The list is growing. But in all honesty, it's summer holiday time is not my most Would you like to know a secret? You can know a secret because you're here. So you can know a secret. We were actually supposed to have a launch of new products today. But in all honesty, time got away from me in the summer holidays and I forgot what date it was. So it's going to be a couple of weeks. But don't worry. I know. It's going to be a couple of weeks. Another thing for my list. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Right, so here's a quick one. I think that paper's supposed to be up that way. But I don't think it matters because the text is sort of... Okay. Right, I am actually going to snip these down to perfect size. The reason being, my last lot of ATCs, things hung over and I had been told off. So here we go. We're going to snip these. Yes, you should wait till they're dry. And I didn't say you couldn't. I mean, I'm not gonna. But you could. I was going to say, whilst I am making jokes about Alison adding things to my list and Lynn adding things to my list and my list, absolutely feel free to add things to the Bee Crafty product list, you know, or additions, you know, in terms of, well, I like that, but could you do a... So, for example, this set of Catalyst with Collage was based on Alison requesting something more blue based. So, and then the next stamp set was actually also based on Alison, you've got power, you've got clout. Well done. The next stamp set is based on something Alison requested as well. I didn't realise she had so much power over me. I'm having another epiphany here. Things that you just didn't quite realise was true. Alison holds all the power. Alrighty. So I'm going to get my Posca back. I've got this little fine liney Posca, which in all honesty was bought for Abby's GCSE art last year. I don't use them that much because I actually find they need more priming. But I'm going to just go around and add an extra sort of faux stitch to this edge. Because we've sort of lost our top and bottom one. So what we're going to do is we're going to double down on the edges. And I think it's going to give it sort of like a film strip look, which I quite like. And I do like that bit of pearl that's coming through from the card that we've layered up on. Now, of course, if you were layering up on something like the MDF ATCs, I think that would be really cool. It'd be really easy. Obviously, you could just see, look at that double layer there. It looks cool. You could obviously just sand off the top and bottom edge, so you wouldn't have to worry about snipping them down. And you could just either paint or ink over the sides. That being said, with this particular set, I think the sort of brown muted tone of the MDF would actually work with these papers really, really well. So like I say, we're just going to add in these. Sam and I, you will not believe. So yes, we get a bit, to use one of my favourite words, lackadaisical over the summer holidays, especially with regards to planning. We're just sort of flying by the seat of our pants a bit because our families are all over the place, you know. And now the kids are at well, both of Sam's now, at the age where they're working and stuff, but they need taken there and brought back. You know, basically we're just glorified chauffeurs, so you never really know where we're going to be. So it sort of loses that. And obviously with Sam doing lives from her conservatory, it's been a bit warm for that this summer season, and we didn't want to, you know, turn her into Sam Jerky. Samantha Bacon. So she hasn't been able to do any. But yes, but we have actually made, sorry, I digress, but we have actually made plans for the releases now to the end of the year. I know, check us out. This will become as a surprise to Alison because I haven't even told her yet. So there you go. All right, so as you can see, just adding in those extra, can we just do a little zoomy? But adding in just those extra, it just gives it more of a framed finish. Now, if you wanted to work around the edges of that with a dark blue beforehand, that would obviously work really, really well. But I actually quite like them as they are, so I am going to leave those as they are just now. Okay, I stuck the wrong one down. I was supposed to use that one. Thank you, everyone, for telling me. It's really fine. Making this one more orange there is still going to work. Actually, I might. Hang on, I might have a bit of a route around. Change her up. I am gutted though. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this one first. Because like I say, it looked quite orange, but when you put it on here, next to the orangey tone that's on the Catalyst collage, it's not orange enough. It's just not. Okay, so I'm going to bring in some carved pumpkin. I'm going to put a little bit here directly on my map. And then I'm going to get a little painty brush. And then spritz on there. Oh yes, look at that. That is a really good sort of colour match. I'm actually going to go over all the petals in there. So this is the other thing. Although if you have done your stamped ephemera prep and you've got lots of little bits, especially if some of them are paler toned, it doesn't mean you can't go over them if you think, oh, that needs a little bit extra, you know. The whole point is they are stamped, coloured and ready to go. But there is always room for adjustments if that's what you need. Okay. So if you put that on there, that is a much better orange. Indeedy. Right, I'm just going to grab my heat tool and give that a little bit of juice so that we can add some white details onto it. Or see, I could be a responsible crafting demonstrator, couldn't I? And hold it with tweezers. Look at me. Responsible crafting demonstrator. Thank you, thank you. Okay, now I've used Distress Oxide for this, which is going to give it that sort of chalky. If you wanted it to be really vivid, I would say go with your regular Distress ink. But that's fine, it's whichever you prefer. I think I might actually put it the same side and really sort of weight that side and put the sentiment and just put a word here. Oh yes, that's lovely. Right, let me grab the Posca again, because you know, it's me. And that's all I have. Right, so we're going to add in some Posca on here. Just some white pen. Now, obviously, when I say add in some Posca, if you have a preferred white pen, you should absolutely use that. I remember years ago when Memento Black was my favourite black ink pad. And I was demoing at Ali Pally. And someone said, I just prefer using Stays On. Now, in fairness, if you can get a really good stamp with Stays On, more the power to you. And she was like, is that okay? Of course it's okay. If that's the one you like. When we do lives and we do demonstrations, we are here telling you what we use. It is absolutely by no way, this is what you have to do. Now, when it comes to Bee Crafty products specifically, obviously I can say this is how you will get the best out of them. Because they're mine, so I can't. But that's not to say, but if you have a preferred white pen, stamping ink, scissors, all that sort of thing, then that's what you should use, because you know them and you know you the best. Okay? Here we go. Right, so I'm just going to take... I've already changed my mind. I'm not going to stick them down until I put my sentiments on, because I just don't know what I'm putting on there yet. And I feel like but you notice that I'm not using anything else. I'm just using the papers because I really want to just show off with these collage designs. You don't need to put a lot on there if you don't want to. Me change my mind, I won't have it on a... Can I go with white or black? White Wordy, black Wordy stickers. White or black, white or black. I'm looking at exactly the same Wordy stickers 3, so I just need you to decide white or black. Very simple. She's already said Wordy stickers 3 and I might be changing my mind. I don't know. The black. Right, Alison said black, and as previously discussed, she seems to have all the power over me at the minute. So, you know, here we are. Right, so I'm thinking loyalty is everything for the crow. I just feel like that sort of... He's giving those sort of vibes. He's giving those sort of vibes. Okay, and then with the butterflies, we'll have... You are your own work of art. Excellent. And then for the other one, we'll have... all you need is imagination. Now this, all you need is imagination, I feel, I would say is sort of like an OG Bee Crafty quote. It was on one of our very first wordage stamp releases, I think. All you need is imagination. So it goes way back. Right at the very beginning, as Julie Andrews would say. Yeah. So I'm going to go... Okay. Now I'm going to cut these down. Now, I know I cut these down anyway, a lot of the time, regardless of the size of the project. But this one, this time it really is to make them smaller. Okay. You are your own work of art down there. And then I'm going to go with these Wordy stickers are just so good. Loyalty is everything. I tell you what, I feel like I could use an entire sheet at the minute of these stickers that say protect your own peace. It's something I'm working on personally, shall we say. And it is not always easy. Yeah, I need an entire sheet. Protect your own peace. And then use them on everything to remind myself. Right, this one I'm actually going to cut up even smaller. Okay, so I'm going to split the all you need I was looking through some of the original wordage stamps the other day. Some of them are really, really good. A positive affirmation set. I actually think that would be winning, Sam. Something maybe to take into the new year. Some positive affirmations. It's always a good time, isn't it? To all you need is imagination. Not entirely true. Some imagination and some catalyst collage does make some things go easier. But hey, maybe that's just me. All right. So I'm thinking I actually might put that in the middle. See where those sort of little circles are coming off. Now those were just drawing around the pattern. But I'm thinking I could actually add some more just coming out the other side. So it's almost just adding it on. So it sort of made it into a bit of a border. Okay, so at the minute that one's my favourite. Okay, so let's move on. See, I'm working on that one because that obviously wasn't the butterfly one I was intended. And then, oh, that one. See, yeah, that's definitely right. So we'll put a bit of adhesive on there. And we'll have that coming up there. But I think we need something just on this bottom bit. So we'll add on a few of those and some of the little 3 dots here, maybe some just outside here, just to complete those two. Okay, yeah, there's all about those there. And now we need to finish on this one. Now there's something just not quite right about this one, and I don't know what it is. So I'm going to go back to my carved pumpkin that we were using earlier. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit of that in to the edges of this flower. Because I'm thinking if maybe I just balance some of that orange a little bit down to this corner, that might... So obviously we've got the blue in the centre and some of the purple, but we've got the purple in the middle already, and I'm just thinking if maybe we just take the orange around the outside a little bit. Will that just soothe my soul a bit? Now I don't think I can necessarily be 100% blamed for not thinking about putting orange with my purple and blue when I coloured these in, because these were coloured in probably pre-Wing Whispers anyway. And I just didn't think of it. I've just noticed a couple of little bits of this flower aren't cut out. So Oh, I definitely think the orange has given that a bit of a zhuzh, hasn't it? Just need to find the right way round that's going to make me happy. I think that's that way there. Sort of the wider petals are just down there. And similar to the others, I'm just going to add in a few more little Posca elements. On that other butterfly, I did have a little butterfly trail. Maybe, if you look there, maybe that will make me feel a bit better. And just add in some other ones that sort of correspond with the other ATCs. Obviously they won't necessarily show up a lot on the white, but that's okay. I know they're there. Okay, so let me bring these down to here, bring that back in. I'm just going to put that on there for a second. So this is just one of those that really does show you sometimes it's just fun to have, do you know what? That's just taking up too much space. Let's try it like that. Sometimes it's fun just to have a go with some of those bonus sort of extra bits that you didn't know you were going to get with your paper pack. Using up your cover sheets, you know, and just having some real fun with it. Because, like I say, the cover sheets for your Catalyst Collage are all about just showing you what's in the pack, so that you can pick up your pack and say, yeah, that's the paper I want to use today, without flicking through them, because obviously they are really lightweight and we don't want you to damage them without. So you can, but or you can do like I do, use those fantastic pieces of paper, and then you just have to rifle through them and decide which one you want in. I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. So ATCs, little mini pages, definitely make sure you're using those Catalyst Collage cover sheets. Now, I will say, so these are from the A4, like I said. Now, obviously, your A5 ones are significantly smaller. But whilst I'm calling this my mini notebook, journal book, just hold fire, because you'll have to wait and see. I bought Sam and I a present. You know how I go on about Sam makes me buy books. I actually bought some without her, and they're about that big. What can I say? I know how to keep my sister happy. Okay, so we're going to have a go at doing some super mini pages in those, and we'll see how those A5s go. So have a go at making something with your Catalyst Collage cover sheet this week, and make sure you add on some circles, and that way you can add it to Sally's circle challenge in the Bee Crafty Stamps group. Right, now the other half has taken some time off work, so I'm not 100% sure if I'll be doing Try It Out Tuesday live next week, but what I'll try and do is get a video recorded before that, but I'm making no promises. But I will, of course, let you know on the Bee Crafty Facebook page, and I will put a post in the right here on YouTube as well, so you can be sure to know. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Please interact with any Bee Crafty posts you see on any social media. That's Instagram, YouTube. Likes and things are great, but if you could leave a comment, that would be fantastic. It doesn't even have to be a big comment. Just a few words would be lovely. All right then, guys. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Bye.